Now the geeks among you will know this is a Renault 5 Turbo, but this is a Phase 1, a Turbo 1, much rarer than a Turbo 2, and I've not driven one before, and this one's coming for sale on Collecting Cars very soon. Have a look in here. This is a wacky place. So originally this car was white, so it's been sprayed blue, and the launch colour of the cars was actually blue and red, but this sort of tan interior fits with a white exterior car. It is a really cool piece of early 80s design. All these dials were specific to the Turbo 1. Turbo 2 actually had a normal Renault 5 interior, so this is already much more special inside. The seat design as well, really distinctive. This was obviously done some competition early in its life. It's got a full cage in it and it's got full harnesses, but I love, there's something so 80s French about the design that I adore. Spec of the car, 160 horsepower, 4-cylinder engine behind me, fuel tank behind me as well, so this is in the 911 Turbo style, an accident waiting to happen for many people. Quite excited about how it'll drive. The difference between a Phase 1 and Phase 2 car is aluminium. Aluminium roof, aluminium tailgate, aluminium doors. This car though does have, we've done a magnet test, this has got steel doors on it, this one, just for total clarity. Still, you can find some aluminium doors to get them made, I'm sure. Enough talking about it stationary, I want to drive it. So, first steps in a Turbo 1. First things first, the gear shift, so much nicer than expected. Nice long lever, I'm not over there somewhere, it's right back by my thigh. Car feels small, agile steering. Obviously, uncorrupted by any drive going through the front wheels. Steering is lovely, it's quick. And straight away, ride is firm. This thing's up together. The chassis on this is good. Engine, well, of course, these old snotters are never as quick as we'd hope. 160 horsepower, it does feel like it's got all of them. Very laggy. You hear the boost start to spool before you see anything registered on the boost gauge there. I've said in the past, these might be some of the best looking but worst driving cars ever. I'm taking it back. I've driven a Turbo 2 that was absolute dog turd, but this is much nicer. The chassis feels really good. Brakes, pedals right there. I've got no problems at all. This has been sitting around for a while, this one. Get in one of these and discover your inner Jean Ragnotti. Go and Google Jean Ragnotti or search him on YouTube and look what he could do in these things. He made them dance. What a fun car. I think in this era, at the end of the internal combustion engine, we're looking for quirky, characterful stuff, aren't we? And this is just dripping with it. The Phase 1 was sold in 1980. I think it's launched at the Brussels Motor Show with my geek hat on. They made about 1,800 of these, whereas they made over 3,000 of the Phase 2s. Differences are aluminium roof, aluminium doors, these ones are steel, aluminium boot lid, crazy interior, same engine, so 1400 turbocharged, about 160 horsepower. So when it was produced, this was the most powerful French car on sale. Weight, I'm led to believe under 1,000 kilograms, and it feels like it too. And there's a period Blaupunkt in here which triggers me in the right way, because it's a Wiesbaden. Oh, that's a rare one. Not a Toronto, not a Berlin, a Wiesbaden. This is a car that's been used. I think it was used as a daily for many years by the owner, which I absolutely love. This is not a concours car, but all the better for it. Its patination supports the fact that it's been used, but it's not been abused. It's got some aftermarket exhaust, obviously, or an exhaust has been made for it, which is just the right amount of 4-cylinder growl, but not too much. Good on the bumps. It's not tramlining at all, not following the crown much. Chassis, big surprise for me. Wheels are non-standard, they're mini lights. There are some Gotti period-ish correct ones that come with the car. They're actually, I've geeked out a bit here, they were an option wheel for a Turbo 2, not a Turbo 1, but they would look probably more correct than these mini lights, but who cares? You're not looking at the wheel, you're looking at those ridiculous wheel arches, aren't you? Just think conceptually, taking the Renault 5 and saying, let's make a rear mid-engined version. Absolutely bonkers. This gear shift shouldn't be anything like as good as this. They must have worked on this. It's really precise. No slack at all for a cable shift. Super duper. One thing I really like, quite often you get in old cars and you take a look behind you and all the mirrors are just going totally berserk. Every glass surface or mirror surface I'm looking into to see what's behind me is rock steady. Neither wing mirror even shaking, rear view mirror, absolutely rock solid. I like that. I like these videos. I get to talk to you guys in a way that if I spoke to my friends, they'd just go, oh, will you sod off, you boring old man. This has got a chassis that you'd say feels totally modern. It really does. It's the engine and gearbox will probably date it with the boost, but the way the steering loads up in a corner and the way the car stays flat and grips is modern. And Renault Turbo 1s, they don't come up very often. I've over the years looked out for these because I've always thought it might be an itch I should scratch. And I always used to see Turbo 2s, lots of Turbo 2s, but never ever Turbo 1s. I think in the time I've been looking at them, probably 15 years, I've seen 2 or 3 come up for sale. Rare thing. Maybe they all got written off, I don't know. Also, in Never Say Never Again, was it a Turbo 2 or a Turbo 1? Answer that question in the comments below. I think it might have been a Turbo 1. Bodywork, well, we had a look around the outside. There are scuffs and there's a little bit of corrosion on one of the windows. It's a 40-something-year-old French car. What do you expect? So it's got lots of marks all over it. But if you can't get over those, then you shouldn't be buying a car like this. Just made my week, this car has. Really gorgeous. Oh dear. Right now I might be bidding. It's so much better than I thought.